Hey guys, it is a nice Sunday afternoon and I'm doing some barbecue right there. Almost done. I'm actually using my own wood from my own property to prepare my food. So, free barbecue, except the meat of course. Anyway, today was an interesting day. I took my wife to church today and I actually enjoyed the sermon. It was weird, but it's what happened at the end was most interesting. I approached the pastor, and he's a good buddy of mine. You know, he's 30 years old. He's pretty young. I'm a little older than him. We're buddies, but until today, he did not know. Well, he kind of knew that I keep Torah and stuff, and he had an idea because my wife told him because she's so worried about me. Well, she told his mom, and I'm sure his mom shared with him. So, you know, because I'm in a cult, right? I've lost my mind. So everybody's worried about me. So, you know, I just came to talk to him. It was a fun conversation. You know, I asked him how were the wafers that I gave him 2 weeks ago. They said it was good. And then I told him, he was, in the sermon, he was talking about debt. Somebody asked him, it was a Q&A, questions and answers. Somebody asked him, well, is debt a bad thing? And you know, from the top of his head, he said, no, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, and he talked a little about it, but I came at the end and told him that, you know, in the Torah, debt is being released or forgiven after 7 years. If you can't pay it off, you know, you're fine. You're off the hook. And in my opinion, debt is actually very satanic to hold people in captivity. And there you go, that's better. And then he said, well, you know, but we don't need to keep Torah anymore. And I just couldn't resist it. I've been taking my wife there for 3 years now, and I've never shared this with anybody. It was like I just kept it to myself because I was still learning and I wasn't completely positive. Even just like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago, I wasn't 100% sure that, you know, I know what I'm talking about. Now, 110%. I mean, there's absolutely not a little doubt in my mind that I know I'm walking the right way. Anyway, so I couldn't resist myself. I told him, well, I think we need to keep every commandment in the Torah today as in day one. From Genesis till Revelation, the Torah is there. Not all the laws were applicable, you know, of course, throughout the time. Like now, you know, we don't have all the laws applicable to us today because there's no temple and no priests and no Torah ruled by government, you know. Government ruled Torah. Government ruled by Torah, that's what I mean. And that's a really cool study. I'm probably going to do a video about how the Torah, the Word of God, has been through Genesis until Revelation. But anyway, when I said that started a really interesting conversation. I mean, he knew that I keep Torah, so he wasn't that surprised, but when he started bringing, you know, all these verses that supposedly talk about how we can eat unclean and stuff, and I already knew these verses, and I had a reply to each one of them, and I think we talked about 10 minutes. It wasn't like a nice conversation. You know, I'm a nice guy. I'm not gonna make you feel bad or anything about it. You know, I want you to. I gotta flip the meat here. I don't want you to like feel bad about yourself. You know, we're just gonna have a nice conversation, right? And it was pretty nice. I mean, he had tears in his eyes because I think he was shocked at, you know, some level. But I told him, well, why don't we take some time and just compare verses, meet up, and you know, see what we can find. And he agreed. The only condition was that we'll use the entire Bible. You know, I told him, why don't we because at first I told him, why don't we just use Messiah's words, see what Yeshua teaches. But he says, well, the apostles were also from God, and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, well, okay, I accept this term, no problem. It just means I have to do more homework and study more and get to know all these verses that supposedly say that they break the Torah. So, love you all. See ya.